Hello, namaste. Thank you for joining me for this little sit down and chat today. We're going to be talking about showing up for ourselves in our yoga practice and how we can be more consistent in doing that. Yoga can very much seem like something that we have to do, it's like another thing that is on our to-do list, another thing that we have to do to get through the day. We have to go to work, pick up the kids from school, do the groceries, then we do our yoga practice, and then we cook dinner, something like this. But I want to invite you today to think of yoga as something that is already integrated in your day-to-day life, your yoga practice. Similar to brushing your teeth, like you wake up, you might have a coffee, then you brush your teeth and continue on with your day. It is a daily ritual. It's just something that we do. You don't even have to think twice about it. We don't want to think of our yoga practice and think, yeah, still got my yoga practice to do. Like check, next. We want to show up and be fully present, fully aware that we are dedicating some time and space of our day to ourselves and to our spiritual practice, which is our yoga practice. And of course, we have so many benefits when we do show up and practice yoga. But that video is not going to be about that today. It's just more going to be about how we can show up and be more consistent every single day. So of course I'm a big advocate for listening to the body, listening to how you're feeling every day, but at the same time, I think that we really do need to have that discipline in showing up and being consistent every single day with our yoga practice. It doesn't matter for how long we show up, it just matters that we do show up, setting those small goals and then showing ourselves that we are capable and reinforcing that belief and knowing that we are capable of showing up for ourselves every day, connecting to the divine, higher consciousness, spirit, God, whatever resonates with you. Yeah, just showing ourselves that we are capable. I recommend that you show up two times a week, 3 times a week to start to begin with. I think it's a really nice number and it's very achievable. We don't need to be practicing to begin with for 6 days a week, hour and a half every single day. That is a lot on our bodies and that is a lot of time in our days that often a lot of us don't have. So I really do recommend showing up for a shorter period of time more consistently rather than showing up, say, for an hour and a half, even 1 time a week. You could split that into 5-10 minute little practices 6 days a week. And of course, the more that we do show up for our practice, the more that we naturally crave that time and space for ourselves. We crave that body movement, we crave that connection to the breath, and the benefits of yoga are so profound that we will naturally start to show up for ourselves more anyway, but we just really do need to show up to begin with and have that discipline for it to start happening with more ease, more fluidity. So that is really my first tip. It is showing up, having that discipline, having faith in yoga, and then naturally you will start showing up more for yourself anyway. It's showing up, being consistent, actually showing up. It might just mean lying in Shavasana one day. It might just be 5 minutes of meditation, connecting to the breath. It might be an asana practice in the morning and then meditation before bed. But whatever it is, just showing up. Number 2 is focus on what it feels like rather than what it looks like. It's very easy to want to do all of the asanas. It's very easy to want to do lots of back bends or handstands and versions like this. It's very easy to get discouraged if you're seeing a teacher or the students around you do more than it is what you can do and what your body is capable of each day. So really, rather than focusing on all that is happening around you externally, even what's happening in the asana while you're doing it, focus on what it feels like. Focus on the breath. Can you breathe steady still? If you're pushing yourself too far, you won't be able to breathe steady. So we want to feel open and strong, find that balance between strength and softness when we are moving, instead of pushing so far that you can't breathe. We also do not want to feel depleted after our yoga practice. Yoga should give us energy. It fills the body with prana. We want to feel calm in the mind. We do not want to feel super overstimulated when we're practiced. Of course, we may be practicing to feel relaxed if it's a little bit more of a restorative practice. We might feel more energetic if it's a morning practice, but we never want to feel super tired afterwards. Yoga should give us energy, not deplete us. So adapting the practice to your own limits and capabilities as well. So adjusting or doing variations of an asana if your body doesn't feel good doing it, And yeah, remembering to ask questions as well. So at the end of a class, if you're doing a practice and you couldn't quite do one particular pose, maybe asking the teacher, I couldn't quite get into that pose, so can you please give me a variation, and the way I can still open my hips, perhaps in that same way, but doing a little bit differently. So maybe lying on the back instead of doing pigeon pose normally. So listening to your body, listening to what it feels like, and not worrying about what it looks like. This will allow us to really enjoy our yoga practice a lot more. Remembering that yoga is not about what it looks like, it's not about the pose. Asana is not the be-all, end-all of our yoga practice. It allows us to quiet the mind, find that point of stillness in order for us to be more open and receptive and able to become more still to practice those more subtle tools and practices of yoga. The third thing I wanted to discuss today was practicing in the same location every single day, if it's possible. Reminder that where you practice does not have to be pretty. It's so easy to get discouraged by social media, and I'll discuss that just after this one. But I literally practice at the end of my bed every single day. It's nice and dark in there in the morning, which means it's nice and cool. I'm in India, so it's very hot. I do film on the roof or in my lounge room, but my personal practice I do every single day just at the end of my bed because it is so nice and cool in there and it's very hot. I feel like a lot of us, we feel we need a lot of space to practice yoga, or we need the super sacred special space that like can't be spoiled, and because it's not perfect or because we don't have it, we just would rather like not do it, and it gets a little bit discouraging. But yeah, when we have one particular place that we practice, despite what it looks like, it really allows our mind and body to drop into our practice with more ease. Just like we go to bed and we know that's our place to sleep. We fall asleep, ideally, much easier because we're just falling asleep on our bed, same place. Once our head hits the pillow, our body knows, okay, time to wind down. So it's just giving our body and mind that little extra prompt with more ease, like this is the time and space to show up for our yoga practice now. So if you haven't already, I really encourage you to give that a go. See what it feels like to practice in the same place every single day, or meditate in the same place every single day. That might even just be sitting on your bed every single day before you sleep, maybe meditating before bed or when you wake up. See what it feels like to do it at the same time, same place, every single day, at least whatever your goal is weekly, you know. The last thing I wanted to discuss was social media. And the first thing about social media is, of course, not spending so much time on it, but it's very, what is the word, overstimulating. It really allows the monkey mind to jump from one thing to the next to the next. You know, it really shortens our attention span in that way. So if we are calm in the mind and not taking in too much information, social media is such a big information overload, then it really allows us to drop into that place of stillness within faster, because we're not trying to clear out all the space within first that we've filled with a lot of information through social media. Like, we're just not made to take in all of that information daily. And of course it is addictive, social media, so the more time you spend on it, the more like you want to open your phone and check it. In the next minute you're on Instagram for like 15 minutes and you haven't even realized, and you don't even know what you're looking at. Yeah, whatever it is you do on social media. But one of the things that we do on social media as well, and Instagram, I'm not sure about this TikTok one, but we compare ourselves to others, and it's very easy to do that, especially when it comes to asana and yoga, because we see all these beautiful people doing beautiful yoga poses, and it's very easy to feel discouraged because that is what you see yoga as, and in fact that is just not what yoga is. We really don't want to go into yoga with the sense of lack or the sense of not being good enough. So just using it sparingly anyway, and using it as a source of inspiration and perhaps learning as well. There's quite a few good pages out there now that share lovely things yoga related, but again, it's just more information. Definitely nicer to read books about yoga from people who have dedicated a lot of their lives and time to yoga as a whole and sharing deep wisdom and wealth of knowledge rather than social media. And on that note, yoga is in fact an inward journey. We don't need to always be looking externally. We don't need to be listening to all these different people's versions of yoga. It's nice to stay with one teacher, find some clarity around yoga according to them if they resonate with you. Ask them questions if you're interested. They'll be more than happy to help. I know I am. If you ever have any questions about yoga and different practices and anything at all, I'm very happy to share with you what I know. I hope you found this beneficial and insightful, and I hope this allows you to be inspired to show up more consistently for yourself in your practice and really integrate it into your day-to-day life. You want yoga to really be who you are. Allow it to show you how to show up and be in the world with more equanimity, more love, more stillness, more kindness, all of the beautiful things that yoga allows us to be with more ease. Wishing you lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. Om Namah Shivaya.